Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I'm here on a project that Johnny sent me. Johnny has a Penn International 965 round bait caster. It came in pieces and parts, but more importantly, what it came without was the level wind feature. And Johnny had asked me, can I restore that? Well, I can when you go ahead and get all of the pieces and parts. And why did it come without it to begin with? That's always a good question. Well, typically what will happen is the level wind will fail and the reel owner will decide that they're just going to fish it as a conventional reel and remove the failed pieces and parts. So more times than not, they just pull the bar out, everything goes away, and then you're left with a shell. And if you want to restore the feature, unfortunately, you got to go buy all the pieces and parts again, which can get quite expensive. But Johnny had asked me to do that, and so let's go over what we have and how we're going to do this, and then we'll get started. Before we get started, though, I want to thank our first responders and essential personnel and everybody involved in keeping us safe during the pandemic, all the delivery drivers, all of the people in the food systems and networks and restaurants and the like, the first responders, including all of the uniformed services, the medical teams. You know who they are by now. They're our local hometown heroes. Please, if you know them, thank them for us. If you are one of them, thank you for all it is that you do. All right, let's get started then. So we have a worm gear that is spool driven. It occurs on the outside of the back side. That's going to be inserted first. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to snake this piece through, because there's a flat spot on the little plastic piece here that's going to mesh, and you need that meshed in order for it to work. You start by inserting that into the side case, but don't put it all the way through, because now you've got to put on your line guide, because if you don't put it on now, you won't be able to put it on later. We're going to take that and we're going to set that through now over to the other side. You want to make sure when you do that you're flush on there and that this bar is set. So we're not set. We came off that piece and we just got to find it now. Now I have it. Okay. You have to lock that in there, and then we're going to have a secondary lock over here. But before you put that secondary lock in, you've got to put the pin in. Notice on this pin that one side of it has got a taper on it, or a smaller diameter than the other side. That is going to nest in the back here on that secondary hole, and the wider part is going to be held in place by a little plastic clamp. So I'm going to move this over so that I can load that up. I'm going to bring that through the side plate. I'm going to make sure that we get it through the hole in the line guide, because that's the rail it's going to ride on. There we go. And then we're going to just make sure that it goes into that hole on the back side. And I'm trying to do this for the camera. There's probably a little bit of an easier way to do it when you can kind of see what you're doing. There we go. I felt that come in. So that's how your line guide's going to slide and not move back and forth. So we come on this side then. We're going to notice, whoops, that probably came out of that grip again. I'm going to grab that so that we have this indentation on the bottom here. So this is going to serve two functions now. You've got the offset on that piece on the bottom here. That piece is going to hold the exposed to the open part of this line shield. The secondary hole is going to be for the screw, and the flat piece over here with that little round circle on it is going to hold that pin in place. So get it set first for the shield, and you want to line that up with the hole. And you want to grab a little screw. I have that off camera, but that's the little screw that's going to hold all of this together. Now you'll know you're in the right position if you can see the slot where the C-clip is going to hold, because that's what's going to hold the worm gear in. Now there's a C-clip you can see it's going to go in here. Those are two pieces. And I've lined this up ahead of time, but there's two pieces now. You're going to put the washer down, make sure that it lays flat, and then you're going to take the C-clip out. That C-clip is going to load in from the side, and sometimes you can push that in with hand strength, sometimes you can't. I like to try see if I have the hand strength first. If this is off camera, I will apologize, but that's how your C-clip goes in. When you do that, come on over to the other side then. Make sure that your worm gear is turning. Yep, the worm gear is turning. You probably can see it there. And now we've got to take care of the sliding line guide. That's your pawl mechanism. So inside your pawl, cap or cover, that's the pawl. The pawl is a cylinder with two forks on it. And this is the part that's going to grab the tracks of the worm gear and slide back and forth. So I'm going to put a little drop of oil into this, bring it over to the side, and we're going to try and load this in. Never an easy task when you have big hands, but it looks like we're starting to get that set. So a lot of times this will not mesh on the first try. So what you want to do is you want to get it close. Sometimes you get lucky. I might get lucky here, just kind of by feel. Turn the wheel. Nope, we can get lucky. You want to back it off, spin it, and when you're spinning it, that's going to help set those teeth in the track. This is just a patience thing. You just kind of have to play with it. Eventually you do get it. Just keep making the adjustments, swing them around. You'll catch a tooth. Eventually you'll line the two teeth up into the tracks. There we go. We got it now. So that's how it is. As you can see, I'm just spinning the drive gear of this. That's your line guide assembly for this reel. So next up, what happens? Well, next up we're going to put that idler gear, which is going to drive this. And this is always a fun little thing in terms of how this works. So your idler gear goes here. There's a small little washer that sits on top of that, just like that. And then this whole plate is going to get secured to the back case, and that's done with some small screws. Okay, so I just shut the camera for a moment. I put the two screws in here to hold that click mechanism ride. They're going to go in these two empty holes here. And then we have this small screw. This one's going to go through the case and attach the wheel. So this is kind of a balancing act again. And again, if I'm off camera, I'm going to just kind of apologize in advance. The best thing to do is try and line those two bigger screw holes with that. Bring it in. I think I just heard that case go. And I just want to make sure that I have that little washer still centered on the hole. And then it's always a case of big hands in small places, but I'm going to use a little needle nose pliers here. Try and get that screw over into that screw hole. Just like that. I got lucky. My long screwdriver there. We'll put that in. So this is, you're going to detach the side plate regardless of whether you want to change your line guide. This is how you're going to detach the side plate from this one. So this is a good time while I'm doing this to tell you, if you like these kinds of videos, please subscribe. If you do subscribe, please hit the notification button. That way you'll see the reels that I'm working on. Today we happen to be working on a saltwater level line reel, but I work on all kinds of fishing reels. Saltwater and freshwater, spinning, conventional, whatever you kind of name it, I'm kind of doing it, whatever comes in my shop. And that's what you see on my videos. So subscribing and notifying gives you the view into what's come in, and then it'll tell you which ones you may prefer to see. All right, this has already been serviced. We're going to put a little bit of grease onto the spool shaft. I use Penn Precision Reel grease for that. And we'll just line the quick release button or the free spool release button with the cavity. Put that in, and we're going to bring this over to tighten down. And we're going to give it a spin, make sure that it all works. Well, look at that. There you go. This can get tightened down a little bit. As I mentioned, I had this reel apart. And there it is. That's how you take a line guide assembly or a reel without a line guide assembly and you rebuild the reel. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have questions on this or any reel, please leave them in the comments section. If you have a reel that needs to be repaired and you don't want to do it yourself or just plain serviced, maybe it's been a while since it's been serviced, I do that by mail as well. And if you leave me a message on my email that follows on this business card, I'll be happy to provide you with the repair information. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned something from it, and I hope you stay safe and stay well and stay watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.